The evening air buzzed with life as I stood on the platform, waiting for my train from Pune to Bengaluru. As a 23-year-old engineering graduate, I had taken this journey many times before, mostly for work, and expected this trip to be no different. The station was alive with its usual chaos. Passengers rushing in different directions, vendors calling out their wares, and the rhythmic clatter of luggage wheels rolling over the concrete floor. The scent of freshly brewed tea drifted through the air as chai vendors maneuvered through the crowd, their voices rising above the hum of conversation. Right on time, the train rolled into the station with a metallic screech, and I made my way to my designated seat, a window seat my favorite. As I settled in, the cool evening breeze brushed against my face, bringing with it the fading warmth of the sun. Looking around, my gaze fell upon the passenger seated across from me. A middle-aged woman, probably in her early 50s, sat with her two daughters. The older daughter, Anita, looked around 19. She had a quiet, composed demeanor, her expressions thoughtful, as if she carried a world of reflections within her. In contrast, her younger sister, Pooja, who seemed to be around 16, radiated a lively energy. There was a certain spark in her eyes, a restlessness that suggested a mind always racing ahead. The sisters were as different as night and day, yet something about them, perhaps an unspoken bond, tied them together in a way only siblings could understand. As the train gave a gentle jolt, signaling the start of the journey, I leaned back against my seat, watching the world outside blur into motion. What I thought would be just another routine trip had already begun to feel different. As the train settled into its rhythmic motion, I gazed out of the window, lost in thought, when a gentle voice interrupted me. "Son, may we sit by the window? My daughter loves looking outside," the woman across from me asked with a polite smile. She was their mother, whom I later came to know as Nala Auntie. Without hesitation, I smiled and shifted to the aisle seat, offering my coveted window spot to Pooja, the younger daughter. Her face lit up with joy, and in that small moment, an unspoken bond formed between us. The train rolled forward, its wheels clicking steadily against the tracks, and soon the silence between us gave way to conversation. Anita, the elder daughter, turned to me with curiosity. "Do you always travel alone?" she asked. I leaned back, answering light-heartedly, "Yes, work has made me used to it." She chuckled. "So, your life must be quite boring." Her playful remark made me smile, and before we knew it, our conversation began to flow effortlessly. She shared that she was studying in Bengaluru and had come to Pune for a short holiday with her mother and sister. I found myself talking about my own experiences too, my work, my journeys, and the little moments that made life interesting. As the night deepened, the warmth inside the train grew stifling. I noticed Nala Auntie and her daughters fanning themselves, their thirst evident. Without a second thought, I reached for my water bottle and offered it to them. They accepted it gratefully, but soon it was empty, and the next station was still far away. Watching their discomfort, I felt an urge to help. As soon as the train pulled into the next stop, I rushed out, pushing through the crowd, scanning for a vendor. I quickly bought a few bottles of water and some snacks before hurrying back to the train just in time. The relief on their faces, the gratitude in their smiles. It was a simple act, yet it felt deeply fulfilling. As the night wore on, the conversation between Anita and me deepened. She spoke about her college life, her friendships, the struggles she faced, and the dreams she nurtured. In turn, I shared my own experiences, our words weaving a connection that felt surprisingly natural for two strangers who had only met a few hours ago. The cool night air drifted in through the window, replacing the earlier heat with a pleasant chill. Noticing Anita shiver slightly, I pulled out my blanket and offered her a corner. She hesitated at first, but then, with a small smile, accepted it. When the train halted at Hubley Station in the early morning light, we stepped down briefly to enjoy a cup of hot tea. The steam curled into the crisp morning air as we sipped, accompanied by light snacks. Pooja, ever the lively spirit, kept us entertained with her endless jokes and riddles, her laughter infectious. As the train neared Bengaluru, Anita and I sat quietly by the window, watching the scenery rush past. After a moment of silence, she turned to me and said softly, "This journey is special to me. It's been a long time since I had such a relaxed conversation." I nodded, understanding the sentiment without needing many words. By the time the train finally pulled into Bengaluru, something between us had changed. In just a few hours, we had gone from strangers to something closer, something warmer, almost like a family. As we gathered our belongings and stepped onto the platform, we exchanged goodbyes, knowing that our paths might never cross again. As we parted, Anita looked at me with a thoughtful expression and said, "Maybe we'll never meet again, but the memories of this journey will always remain." Her words lingered with me long after they disappeared into the crowd. It was just a train ride, a brief encounter, yet it had left an imprint on my heart. That journey taught me something profound. Sometimes, the most unexpected connections, even the fleeting ones, can leave a lasting impact, reminding us of the beauty of human relationships and the kindness that binds us all together.